The hospitalizations are continuing to drop. That's a good thing. The reason I bring this up is because you're now seeing cities and states loosening restrictions and talking about loosening even more restrictions, like ending mask mandates, for instance, letting people, eat inside and go to movie theaters. There are certain things that make some sense. We know a lot about the outdoors. People can do things outdoors, but just the idea of all of a sudden saying, okay, go into the restaurants and stop wearing masks seem like a good idea right now?
No, it's not a good idea because we're still very much in the middle of this, and even the numbers are still, even though they're coming down, and the case numbers that decline may have leveled off. Death rate's still 9% lower than the 7-day average before. Hospitalizations 21% lower, but clearly there's still a very contagious virus out there, and there are people who are vulnerable. That's sort of the big sort of, I think, takeaway. What I will say, and we've talked about this now for a year, is that probably the truest measure in all this is hospitalizations, because that's something that, they very carefully measure. They test people. Is this a COVID-related hospitalizations? And those do continue to come down, as you point out. I think that there's a couple things that I'm really looking at is when you're looking at this data, we for a year now have reliably said, here's where the cases are. A couple weeks later is when the hospitalizations go up. A couple weeks later after that's when the deaths go up, and here's the proportionality of that. What I'm looking for now is even if cases come back up, and they might, given these new variants, do the hospitalizations follow? And if they do, at the same proportion or not? I'm suspecting they won't, because we have, seen increased immunity due to the vaccinations and natural infections. So we'll see, but I'm optimistic about that part of things.
I hope you're right, Sanjay, because